Alright, here we are at Tripping on a Cable Studios, and today we're doing another Fuck Yeah Industrial. I know it's been a while since we've done these things, this series, but today's will be a little bit different. We're just going to chat a little bit. The reason why is because we've got some questions from some folks regarding gear, what some of the older bands, industrial bands, and like Ministry or Nine Inch Nails used for gear. And what you need in order to have a all hardware recording and performance rig. So if you're looking for information about older industrial bands and what gear they used, definitely read the interviews from the past. There's all kinds of interviews online. Definitely read biographies or autobiographies. Al Jorgensen has an autobiography. Trent Reznor has a book. I can't remember. It's from a long time ago. I can't remember when it was written, but I think it was from 95 or 96. I'm not entirely sure, but there's that, and they get into some gear stuff there. I personally am a minimalist when it comes to gear, so my interest in that kind of thing it's not really like, I'm not like, oh, Trent used the Ober Prophet or whatever the fuck that thing was called, some experimental Oberheim Prophet synthesizer. Like, I'm not one of those people that like, oh, he used this synth for this sound and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't honestly, I don't have interest in that. So yes, it's interesting information. It's interesting that they use those pieces to do certain things in their records and songs and such. But out of all honesty, I'm a minimalist. The reason why I picked the gear that I have is because the synth, my main synth, the Yamaha EX7, I picked it because it could do everything I wanted it to. It has a sampler on it, has a sequencer, it has synthesis in it, a couple different types of synthesis. It also has an arpeggiator and a pattern sequencer, and yeah, it just has everything that I wanted it to. I did obviously try it out before I purchased it, and I tried it out many years before I actually purchased it. And when I purchased it, I actually got it from somebody out in Vancouver, a music teacher from out in Vancouver, so I wasn't able to test the unit till it was delivered. So, but yeah, so I can't really tell you what bands used what gear. I know Ministry had a Fairlight for a period of time. They purchased a Fairlight, and Fairlights I don't even know what the price range is now, but Fairlights were about the price of a car back in the 80s, and 30, 40, maybe 50,000, I don't know, somewhere around there. So they used that. I know Nine Inch Nails used that Ober Prophet or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even know. I know Nine Inch Nails also used Moogs. You gotta go looking for interviews and stuff and books and get that information there, because quite frankly, there's so many goddamn industrial bands these days, and even though there's a select few that I idolize, like Nine Inch Nails or whatever, like I stated earlier, to me, I'm a minimalist when it comes to gear. I don't want specific pieces because another band had them. I got my piece because it's exactly what I wanted. I had a chance to try it out when I was first looking at synthesizers way back in 98 or something like that, and between 98 and 2000, I think. And I had a chance to try it out. It sounded amazing, and then I decided that's the synth that I wanted, and that's eventually ended up getting it. So I do just want to direct you to a couple of video series that we have done. One of them is called Getting into Making Industrial Music. I do get into some key things you might want to consider purchasing when it comes to purchasing and utilizing and all that kind of stuff when it comes to writing industrial music. I get into hardware synths, I get into MIDI controllers, audio MIDI interfaces, stuff like that. I also have another series called So You Want to Play Industrial Music Live, and kind of how to get started doing that, so you might want to check out those two different series. We have had a couple of questions regarding all hardware setups. I will be honest, my setup is a hybrid setup, so I normally, when we've played live, I've used my hardware synthesizer and my an audio MIDI interface and a laptop, and that's kind of what the setup's been. Oh yeah, and obviously a vocal effects processor. I can give a recommendation as far as hardware synths, as far as a hardware setup. First, if you want a all hardware setup, I would suggest synth, sampler, sequencer, because the sequencer is how you're going to put all your sounds together and make songs out of them. And being that, you know, if you're going all hardware, you might want a multi-track recording device, something like the Tascam DP0808 or the Zoom R8 or something like that you can record your tracks, your sequence tracks onto, so you can complete the picture, record your guitars, your bass, whatever the fuck it is, your drums, and your vocals, so you can complete the song or whatever you want to do. If you're intending on having a live drummer and you have an all hardware, whether it's all hardware live performance rig, or if it's all hardware recording rig, you want to keep in mind that your drummer needs to be able to keep in time with the backing tracks. So what you want to do is you want to save at least one track on whatever hardware recording device you have, or whatever hardware device you're using for your playback. You want to keep at least one track as a click track. Either you may have to program it, or some devices have metronomes, but you'll need a click track that you can send to the drummer's monitors, in-ear monitors. Some drummers don't use in-ears, but sometimes you get that bleed from their drum monitors to the front of house, and that's just not good. You don't want a clicking sound on a 4/4 beat or whatever it is, and whatever your time structure is, whatever it is, you don't want that clicking cutting through into the mix, because it doesn't sound good. It's not professional, and you just want to make sure that they have something to keep in time to while your backing tracks are running. But yeah, that's it. I hope you folks found this video helpful. I hope you found it valuable. If you did find it helpful or valuable, give it a like. You know, if you have any questions regarding hardware setups, yeah, definitely hit me up. I do want to mention there is it's not even called Gear Sluts anymore. I don't even know what it's called anymore. There was a site called gearsluts.com or whatever. It was a forum. I know they just recently changed the name. I don't know why they changed it, but I do know why. Yeah, it's Gear something. It's Gear something. I'm not sure what it is yet, but there is a thread in the forum there that they talk about gear that Nine Inch Nails used over the years, and it's quite a long thread. And actually, Charlie Clouser, who toured with Nine Inch Nails and did, I think, some recording with in a limited capacity with Nine Inch Nails, either for the Downward Spiral era, the Self-Destruct tour, or because he was on the Self-Destruct tour, and yeah, Downward Spiral and Fragile era of albums, and he participated in that whole thing, and he gives all kinds of insight into what was used and how it was used, and certain things that Trent did, or you know, the way they recorded certain things and all that kind of stuff. So you might want to check that out. I guess I'll post a link in the comments below with that information, so you folks can check it out and just see and read all about what all of that shit was. And yeah, so if you have any questions or comments about hardware setups or even hybrid setups, definitely hit me up and I'll try to answer them the best I can. If you feel this video has value or my channel has value, please, well, if you feel this video has value, please share with your buds, your band members, potential industrial band members. Share it with them. And if you feel this channel has value, please hit that bell button to be notified when the next video comes out. So, see you in the next video. Fuck yeah.